Hi everyone, welcome to Diana's Table. Today I want to show you how I make tonkatsu or pork cutlet. And this is my husband's favorite recipe and he would love to have this every day because as you know, anything fried tastes really good. But I want to share my secret recipe with you today. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with pork loin. You can actually get these pork loin sliced cuts from Costco. And I'm going to pound it a little bit just to make it thinner. Over plastic, I put 2 and cover it with another plastic here. And if you have a wooden mallet like this, it's really convenient. So you just pound it, let out all your frustrations. And it's a good exercise. Then you can actually flip this over and do the other side. This will tenderize the meat and also obviously make the size bigger, like now. Now because it's pork, I usually, if you remember how we made ginger sake, I marinate this in ginger sake for about 30 minutes. To the pork loin, I'm just going to add maybe 1/4 cup of ginger sake. Actually, the smell of ginger and sake is really quite good. You just let it marinate for 30 minutes, and then we'll season it. We'll set it aside. So it's been 30 minutes sitting in ginger sake, and the color has turned a little bit paler. You got all the sort of the dirty things out of the meat. I'm going to transfer it to a rack so you get all the sake drained. So transfer each loin, sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper. It's important to pre-season the pork a little bit because you don't want it to be too bland. Another layer. Maybe I can put in 4. So we're going to make the batter. I'm using breadcrumbs. You can buy this, it's called panko. They come in a package. So an equal amount of breadcrumbs. And then I'm also putting in grated Parmesan cheese. You cannot use mozzarella because it becomes too sticky and too wet. But Parmesan really adds taste to the panko and it still remains crisp. So I highly recommend you to use Parmesan cheese, grated at home, and an equal amount of Parmesan. And I'm using dry parsley here. Dry parsley also gives color and it looks nice and makes it a little bit special. You can use oregano or some Italian herbs if you have them, but I always find that parsley is sort of the best. And please use the dry one because the red ones, when you put it into the hot oil, it will, splatter all over the place. So you mix it together, the breadcrumb, the cheese, the parsley, and the batter is ready. You take your pork loin, put it into the egg batter. I usually like to do maybe 2 or 3 at a time. So make sure that it's completely covered in egg batter and transfer to the panko mix. And don't push too hard, but firm enough so that the panko goes all over the meat. And if you notice, I'm using middle finger to the last finger for the panko and the first 2 fingers for the egg because you don't really want to get egg all over the place either. Right? So one is ready. So I'm heating the oil, and you know when the oil is ready by putting in a couple of the breadcrumbs, and if it sizzles or it comes up in 1, 2, 3, then it's ready. I will start to put the pork cutlet in. Perfect. Because the pan is so small, I've just cooked maybe 2 at a time. As you can see, I made a lot. And the reason is because while you're getting your hands dirty or table dirty, it's always recommended to make a lot, and you can freeze them. And you can use it as it is right now with the breadcrumbs. And when you're ready to eat, you thaw it and just add a little more breadcrumbs and then fry again. It'll be as new. So this saves time of making this each time. You can already smell the sort of the cheesy taste from the Parmesan. You don't really want to fry it too dark, and so you wait until it's golden brown like this. I think this is perfect. Put it onto a tray. I could use a bigger pan, obviously, to fry so many at a time. But then at the same time, I find that maybe frying 2 or 3 pieces, it keeps the oil at same temperature. But if you put too much into it, the temperature will go down and the meat will become very oily. So it's very important to keep the temperature even and don't really put too many in. Before you put in the next batch, it's always nice to, get all the sort of the remaining crumbs out of there, so you have clean oil. So the tonkatsu is ready. In Korea, we usually like to have it with cabbage. So I slice the cabbage, and you can use the mandolin to slice the cabbage into very thin slices. Before we plate it, I'm going to take one and cut it into bite size. We always like to have things bite size. So it's nice. You can, I don't know if you can hear, but it's really nice and crispy. So put it. Okay. Looks good, doesn't it? Bon appetit!